Welcome back, Truth Seeker. April 2nd, 2025. The big headline tonight: Trump's global tariffs go into effect. And Trump gave a 48-minute speech trying to justify this complete moronic idiocy that's based in not listening to history. Again, as we've been pointing out, all of this stuff is sick ritualism. And it's all part of the plan of you'll own nothing and be happy. Donald Trump is a slave to his banker tyrant masters who uttered those words back in 2020 through the mouth of Klaus Schwab of the World Economic Forum. And if you're new here, I've been showing the perfect ritualism of why Trump's doing what he's doing, when he's doing it. Again, he's number 47. You got to learn Gematria. It's essential. Tariffs equals 47 like Trump. His first set of tariffs that went into effect when he became president again, which we told you would happen 4 years ago because the whole thing's rigged. He did that exactly 47 weeks after the anniversary of the publishing date, The Wealth of Nations by Adam Smith, the father of economics, who said you should never impose tariffs because they're destructive to not only your own nation, but other nations, and they can bring about war. And this does have a lot to do with war. This is a trade war on 4-2. There's the fat chump right there. I want you to see that he gave a 48-minute speech today, a 48-minute speech from the chump. And, of course, we know that Donald Trump, I guess the supposed proper pronunciation, Donald Trump does equal 48. But before we get ahead of ourselves, if you're new here, I have to explain this in every video, even though it's video number 10 million, because still almost nobody's heard about this because it's the best kept secret on the internet. You must learn the Kabbalistic practice of coding numbers into words. Everything begins to make perfect sense once you're aware of this little system. Again, there are 4 base ciphers of the English language. I learned about this from a book published in 1926 by Manly P. Hall called The Secret Teachings of All Ages. But those 4 ciphers are the alphabetic order. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, up to Z is 26. The reverse alphabetic order, just running the alphabetic order in reverse. Z is 1 back to A is 26. And both orders with numerology applied. We've talked about this many times before. Economics and Freemason are a perfect overlap in all 4 ciphers. And what's being done is going to change the economics of the world. And everything is going to become drastically more expensive for everybody because this is the plan. Agenda 2030, you guys. You'll own nothing and be happy. They want to reduce consumerism. Listen, if they're doing this in the name of saving the earth and it really needs to be saved, okay, I can appreciate that, but just come out and say it. Not give us all this load of BS and, oh, it's going to be great and it's going to bring jobs back to it. No, it's not. No, it's not. All it's going to do is destroy jobs, make things more expensive, but maybe it will save the earth. But come out and say it. And for everyone's like, Trump's a Republican. He wouldn't go along with that Green New Deal. Trump's a lifelong Democrat, just like Ronald Reagan, who also ran on the highest degree of the Church of Satan, MAGA. And before you're the next lemming who comes along and goes, oh, that's got to be a coincidence. Church of Satan, MAGA doesn't have nothing to do with Make America Great Again. Until you realize that it was, back when Obama was president, the 45th birthday of the Church of Satan, April 30th, 2011, the night of the White House Correspondents' Dinner when the chump was there himself. And Obama told the joke that he would become the 45th president, Donald Trump, on the 45th birthday of the Church of Satan, when MAGA is the highest degree and the highest tenet of Satanism is to worship yourself, which is all Trump does. Anyway, and you know, Satan's the father of lies. All Trump is a bunch of lies, and the only people who follow him are total retards. How could you have thought this guy was going to do anything other than destroy the economy when that's what his last presidency was about, going along with the scandemic out of Switzerland? Sorry, sweet girl. Sorry. Daddy will calm down. Again, Trump's last presidency was going along with the scandemic out of Switzerland, the banker tyrants, printing a bunch of money, causing hyperinflation, which is why things are so expensive now. And now his great grand idea to make things, again, what do you run on? He'd run on reducing prices, so he's going to impose tariffs, which are taxes on us. I mean, you got to be a moron to not see what's going on here. You had to be a moron to vote for Joe Biden. In fact, you have to be a moron to vote for either political party. This isn't some endorsement of the Democrats. You have to be a moron to vote for either political party, point blank, period, end of discussion. You also have to be a moron to deny this knowledge, which is what a lot of people do. And they're the same types of morons that think Trump's some hero or the Democrats are the answer. They're not. 2 parties, 2 wings of the same bird, bought and paid for by the same cabal. And again, about Freemasonry and economics. Washington, D.C. is known as the Masonic City. Freemasonry is a secret society. Where did Trump give his 48-minute speech today? In the Rose Garden. And what does a rose mean to secret societies? Oh, it's a symbol of secrecy. Oh, you mean to tell me Trump's not doing this for the people who voted for him? He's doing it for the banker, tyrant, secret society types up at the highest degrees? Of course he is. That's all he served. That's all any of these crooks that get into the district of criminals serve. They don't serve us. They serve the secret society types who are up at the highest degrees. And how anyone doesn't know about this is because, I guess, because they don't look into anything. Again, look into George Washington's letters from back in the 1700s about his concerns about the Illuminati taking over Freemasonry. Notice Illuminati's 48, like Donald Trump going with his 48-minute speech in the Rose Garden as he tries to justify his disastrous economic plans with tariffs. Yeah. Anyway. This is a trade war. This is a world war. These are global tariffs, reciprocal tariffs, other people launching tariffs on us. Look at World War 42, 48, right? This is a world tariff war, a trade war. And not to mention, Adam Smith wrote about how tariffs are one of the sure ways to lead to war between nations. Today is 72 days after Trump took office. President Trump, 72, like Jesuit order. Again, he's Jesuit educated. Again, the Jesuits are the puppeteers of Freemasonry. They wrote the rights for Freemasonry. They really run the show. DC's the Jesuit Masonic City. Keep in mind, Jesuits also 42. So is Georgetown, the Jesuit university in DC that was established just before George Washington became the first recognized president, who, funny enough, wrote the letter about the Illuminati infiltrating Freemasonry when the Illuminati was founded by the Jesuit Adam Weishaupt. Again, how all this fits together in a perfect line. But another thing I got a kick out of in light of the whole Masonic thing, you know how the House of the Temple, the Masonic headquarters in DC, is at the address 1733, and Mason equals 17, and Masonry equals 33, and they say Masonry is Judaism for the Gentile because it's based in the Torah, the first 5 books of the Bible. Look at this thing going on with Israel. The United States will impose 17% tariffs on goods imported from Israel under a sweeping new tariff system that President Donald Trump unveiled on Wednesday. The tariffs on Israeli goods are less than some Trump rolled out, but greater than the 10% baseline that he is assessing on all imported products. They fall into the reciprocal tariffs bucket and represent half of the 33% tariffs that Israel has until now assessed on some U.S. goods. Oh, it's nice how they did that. 1733, House of the Masonic Temple. So, yeah, again, another 48 ritual Trump. And for anyone who missed the night before the rig selection, November 4th, I'd suggest you go back and watch my video from November 4th saying it was absolutely in the bag for Trump because of the 48 rituals that were done on Monday Night Football in tribute to Trump. You might recall that game went to overtime with 48 points, 48 days after Mahomes' birthday, and him and his mom. Sweet girl. Sorry, I'll hurry. I'm almost done. I got Sweet Girl down here. She's on the baby bouncer. But again, the night before the rig selection, Mahomes and his mother, the Chiefs, endorsed the new commander-in-chief Trump, or the returning commander-in-chief, I should say. And then also that night, the Cavaliers got off to their best start in 48 years. Again, Trump's the second split-term president. The only other one was Grover Cleveland, where Trump had his convention in 2016, Cleveland, in the stadium right after LeBron won on the real King James's birthday, when, of course, King James was a Freemason and Rosicrucian. But, yeah, again, best start in 48 years. They started 8-0. Grover Cleveland equals 80. And don't forget what I told you. I said when Trump comes back in the second term, Grover Cleveland, in the start of his second term in that first year, he made policy that led to economic destruction. So, hello, this is called making history repeat by the numbers. I got a big talker down here. Okay, a lot of people are asking about Val Kilmer's death. That means you didn't see the video that I put out 12 hours ago. I'm going to add to Val Kilmer's death because I got some more information. But on the same day that he died, Oliver Stone, who directed The Doors, where Val Kilmer portrayed Jim Morrison, the singer for The Doors, on the same day, Oliver Stone asked for Congress to reopen the investigation into the Kennedy assassination. And it's really interesting he did this on April Fool's Day 4/1, because remember who was in attendance when JFK got killed? George H.W. Bush, who eventually became number 41. Remember in Gematria, Skull and Bones equals 41, the secret society he was a part of. And Dallas equals 41, where JFK was killed. Also, The Doors equals 41. And where do The Doors and JFK meet? They meet in Viet. Hey, sweetie pie, do you want to come up here? I'll bring you up here in a second, okay? The Doors and JFK, they meet in Vietnam. Again, The Doors made a lot of counter-war music, But Jim Morrison's father, again, retired from the U.S. Navy the same day that Jim Morrison was found dead in a bathtub. And Jim Morrison's father had a lot to do with the start of Vietnam and the Gulf of Tonkin incident. JFK's assassination had a lot to do with us going into the Vietnam War by the numbers. So there is an overlap in history with Oliver Stone, who directed the Doors movie, and his ongoing, he's also done the movie on the Kennedy assassination, but there is a link here. And by the way, he did this yesterday, Oliver Stone, also on the 199th day of his age, which is the 46th prime, like JFK was killed at age 46. Again, Catholic equals 46. Run it the other way, Catholic equals 35, like he was killed on I-35 and the first Catholic president. Notice the 91 movie JFK, that's the same year the Doors movie came out too. And they did this on the 91st day of the year. April 1st is the 91st day of the year. So how these things all come together. Val Kilmer, I missed something big this morning. This morning I didn't have a whole lot of time, but again, he died supposedly from pneumonia, something that rarely kills people who are 65 years old, especially when they're millionaires. But that's what they want to tell us here out in the idiocracy where people believe anything as long as it's on TV. Hey, Richard Nixon even said that. He said that's the only thing the American people believe, what's on TV. He also said, I'm not a crook. And now we have a felon for a president by the numbers. Don't forget that felon equals 25, just like Trump going with 2025. But anyway, he died 45 days before the anniversary of Top Gun, his biggest movie. Pneumonia's 45, forwards and backwards. The word ritual's 45. Again, that movie's 38 years old and change. He's died 38 weeks and days after Tom Cruise's birthday. Death, murder, killing, RIP, all equal 38. He also died 93 days before Tom Cruise's birthday. Top Gun equals 93. He was Batman in Batman Forever, and he's died 309 days after the anniversary of that movie. Remember, Batman equals 39, like New York. Gotham is New York. New York is 39 land. Some people say his best role ever was, is he Wyatt Earp in Tombstone? Who is he again in Tombstone? But what his character in Tombstone, some people love his character there. Dead 97 days after the anniversary of Tombstone's release. Hey, you. Hey, you. Hey, you. Hey, smiley girl. You want to come up? Hold on. I'll bring her up here in a minute. She's having fun in her bouncy chair, but she's getting noisy. 97 days after the anniversary of Tombstone, death equals 97. If you're new here, that's been a huge pattern this year with death. 97 is the 25th prime. You get a tombstone when you die. He's dead 97 days after the anniversary of its release. And then again, I think his most iconic role was portraying Jim Morrison in The Doors. The Doors 41, Dead on 4/1. That movie came out in 91, dead on the 91st day of the year. Jim Morrison died on the same day in history that is Tom Cruise's birthday. Again, Tom Cruise turned 9 that day. 45 is the 9th triangular number, going with the 45 days before the Top Gun anniversary. Val Kilmer's dead at 65. The Doors were formed in 65. Again, Jim Morrison's birth name is James Douglas Morrison, 248, like how old the country is right now, and how old the Illuminati is as well. And Jim Morrison's death anniversary this year will mark the 54th anniversary of his death on July 3rd. Notice Jesuit order, 54, 144, 72, 153. Look at Jim Morrison, 72, 144, 153. And Jim Morrison, 63 is also interesting because Tom Cruise is going to turn 63 years old this year, and it's synced with his upcoming birthday, which is the anniversary of Jim Morrison's death. But here's what I missed this morning. I was in a real hurry this morning because I had to get done with a million sports games that started early today, and I didn't really have any time to do Val Kilmer's thing. But look, you guys, another celebrity dead perfectly synced with the Jesuit Superior General. Run Val Kilmer in reverse, 140. He's dead 140 days after the Superior General's birthday. And then notice the Gematria Batman Forever, too. Also 140. Also 140. He was in Batman Forever in 95. The Jesuits were created to counter the 95 Theses, recognized by the Roman Catholic Church on the day, leaving 95 days left in the year. Batman Forever is also 59, like Val Kilmer. 211, the 47th prime. 76. Remember, 76 and 41 are peas in a pod. Skull and Bones equates to 41 and 76. Papa Bush, number 41. His son, who was the president, born on 7/6. The Georgia Guidestones come down on his 76th birthday on 7/6. But remember, in the Batman series, it's the 33rd episode of the original TV series. If you don't know this, look it up. It's a fact. I believe the episode is called Fine Feeny Fiends or Friends. Or look, it's been a minute since I looked it up, but look up the 33rd episode of Batman. The title is FFF something. Fine Feeny. Anyway, in that episode, part of the dialogue is that Batman's grandfather created Skull and Bones, the powerful secret society out of Yale. And again, you got Oliver Stone making headlines on the same day who put out the JFK movie, the same year the Doors movie came out. You know what I mean? When Dallas is 41. By the way, Skull and Bones, the big way, is 149, like JFK was born on the 149th day of the year. But yeah, and he's also talking about the year 59 in regards to Oswald in light of where that fits in with Val Kilmer. Again, I'm telling you, man, it's just ritualism on top of ritualism, and it's all leading back to the same secret societies day in and day out. So I bet there's even more about Val Kilmer, but we definitely had to get in the piece about the Superior General. Yeah, so again, show business is deadly business, and these causes of death are always a load of BS. 65-year-old dying from pneumonia. I mean, come on. That would be very uncommon, especially for one super wealthy who has way more resources than almost everyone else in the country. Again, I covered this earlier too, but since no one's watching any videos, AP had to publish at 3:22 p.m. on 4/1. Remember, Skull and Bones is Order 322. It's like how the Georgia Guidestones went up on March 22nd, and then they came down on George W. Bush's birthday. By the numbers on 7/6, the other Skull and Bones number. But they had to let you know that this U.S. bank executive died in the plane crash over the weekend in Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. They had to let you know it was him on Skull and Bones Day. And again, Skull and Bones are known for being practical jokesters, a bunch of pranksters, like April Fool's Day is the day for that. His full name, Terrence Robert Dolan, 91, like April 1st is the 91st day of the year. Again, like the Doors movie came out in 91. His shortened name that he goes by, Terry Dolan, 51 and 57, like April Fools, and in those exact same ciphers, conspiracy. And again, I said at the beginning of the year that plane crashes could be a big theme in 2025 because plane crash equals 97, the 25th prime. Brooklyn Park, Minnesota, where the plane crash is 97. I mean, how many plane crashes have there been this year since I said that? Like, I've lost track. There's been already like 20 big ones in the news, I'd say, at least. So, again, news by the numbers all year, every year. And again, the severe storms breaking out today. Again, Missouri get in touch with tornadoes on 4/2. Missouri 42. The first tornado of the day was in Owasso, Oklahoma. Today is the 92nd day of the year. Owasso 92. Owasso, Oklahoma, 51. That's the date numerology today, 51. The Kentucky governor said storms could be very bad today going into the days ahead. I'm saying look out for tomorrow on 4/3 in Kentucky, the way they like to do weather warfare by the numbers. Again, weather warfare is a real thing. It's been admitted to for almost 100 years. If you don't know about it, pull your head out of your ass. You're watching too many movies. You're watching too many TV shows. You're watching too many ball games, and you don't know enough about the actual real world where weather warfare is a real thing. And, you know, it's like last year when the hurricanes happened and they had that dipshit congressman in Florida come out and say, all these wackos on the internet talking about weather warfare and controlling the weather. And then we looked it up and we saw that guy became a congressional representative in the 26th district when he started his political career. And literally on his 26th birthday, when he was a much younger man back in the 80s, was the day, literally on his 26th birthday, was the day the U.S. government banned weather warfare. Yet this guy is now on TV calling people like me kooks when all the facts are on my side. And of course, we did call his office and left a nice long message with the secretary. By no surprise, I never got a call back. But anyway, about tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be the date with the 52 date numerology. You see this over and over again. The biblical flooding on the 52 dates. It happens over and over and over again. Flood, earth, Enlil. 52, again, Babylonian god of flooding is Enlil. Look at the overlap with flood, earth, and Enlil. Don't forget Genesis 8:3 is where the biblical flood ends. And then the other thing about a rare level 5 of 5 threat for these EF3 plus tornadoes today. Today's 257 days after that Twisters movie came out. 257 is the 55th prime. Military equals 55. 5 of 5 like 55. I think the ritual is pretty obvious, but not as obvious as this one. Cory Booker speaks for 25 straight hours without peeing his pants, or unless he had his Depends on. And he broke the previous record of the longest speech in the Senate by 47 minutes. And Trump equals 25 and 47. He was speaking against the Chup and puppet Elon. So anyway, I wanted to get all that in here. And I know some of you guys, after all this depressing news, you just love seeing Sweet Girl. So we'll do a sign off here with Sweet Girl. She's been getting baby bounced down here. If you ever get a little one, you should definitely get a baby bouncer because babies love baby bouncers. And again, when you got to get work done, you can keep them down, and it's like a pedal. You just keep them bouncing, and they have just such a swell time. Who's that on the screen, Sweet Girl? Yeah, she's a lot more fun than covering these tragedies in the news, I'll tell you that much. But again, we must cover the tragedies in the news so that we can expose them and stop them. Oh, yeah, Smiley Girl. We must stop them, Truth Seeker. Otherwise, what kind of world are we leaving for our children? So Ruby and I are signing off. Thank you again to everyone who hits the like and the share. And appreciate all you guys. Have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, Midwest. Actually, you just never know where the next storm is going to be. It's like the whole country's become tornado territory. We had tornado warnings out here the other day. But yeah, be safe, everybody. And I'll be back tomorrow unless something else big breaks tonight. All right, Ruby, we're saying goodbye. Till next time, Truth Seeker.